Happy Friday. Hello, and happy Friday, everyone. It is so good to be here. I hope y'all had a great rest of your week. I hope this week was delicious for you. Um, y'all know how we do as y'all come in, let me know where y'all are tuning in from. It is another Relationship Friday. So I'm really excited to be here with you all. And I am, as y'all come in, let me know where you're tuning in from and make sure that you share. Share. Invite and share. Let me get y'all to invite and to share. Woo, for those of y'all who are tuning in and are watching us from Watch Party, hello. For those of y'all who are, let's see, we're streaming to, where are we? We're streaming to, we're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, we're in Instagram as well, I think. So hello. We have North Carolina is here, is in the building. I am excited to have y'all here. Um, Again, as you come in, make sure that you invite and share. So, for those of y'all who don't know, this is Relationship Friday, and we talk about relationships, all things relationships. So we talk about sex, we talk about healthy engagement with your partners. And tonight we are talking about how to communicate with your partner when it comes to your sexual desires, your needs. So I'm excited to have you all here, to have y'all taking part. And if y'all see me looking down, I'm trying to get everything squared away. So again, make sure that you all invite. My name is, hey, I am Rachel. I am your licensed clinical social worker and certified relationship coach. Yes, Edwina, you are here and you are here on time. And listen, Edwina, if you are wanting to come on live, for those of y'all who want to come on live, we will have a link posted so that you can be a co-host with us as well. So I'm excited. So listen, Fridays we have for the last, I think this is the fourth Relationship Friday. Y'all let me know. I think this is the fourth, but but we have been talking about self-care. We've been talking about self-love. We have been talking about how to, we've talked about intimacy, what that is. So I'm really excited for what we're talking about tonight, which is a furtherance of the conversation in regards to connecting with your partner, having open and honest dialogue and conversation, and how you do that, especially when it comes to talking about what you want more of or less of in the bedroom, right? So being able to, and that's a part of self-care, right? So we've been kind of having this ongoing theme about self-care. And one of the things that we recognize is that self-care it encompasses your health, all areas of your health, making sure that you're taking care of it. So being able to advocate for yourself, being able to say, hey, I like this, or hey, no, not that, not like that. That's important. So we're going to talk about that today. How do we communicate with our partner what our needs are, what our wants are, those types of things? So we're going to talk about that today as well. So I want to kind of just quickly assess. So thank y'all for joining. And as you are coming in, let us know where you're tuning in from. Can you please share this? Can you please invite your guy friends, invite your girlfriends that you know are going to benefit from this? We always have a good time. And tonight's going to be no different. So I want y'all to share this and invite. Like, if you can do that right now, before we go further, we have some really good conversation and some really good questions that I want us to talk about. And again, if you are wanting to come on live, the link is in the chat, and you click on that, and that's going to bring you right in to be live with us to share your thoughts and your feelings. Okay. All right. So we have some fellas, right? So ladies, we've been kind of handling business. We've been talking, and I said, I would love to have the male come in and join in on the conversation. So we have some fellas that are going to be taking part in the conversation, and I'm excited about it. So again, we have some really, really good questions we're going to be talking about. Like, when you're in relationship, like, how do you let your partner know, I like this, or not so much, right? We need to have that conversation, and it's going to be important for us to know how we do it, right? Like, what is the best way to go about doing that, right? So from the male's perspective, like, how do they want us to say to them, don't do it like that, right? As well as the men being able to hear from us ladies, hey, how do we need it? How do we need it? So if this is your first time, so I'm excited, obviously, as y'all can tell. I am excited about our conversation. And again, we have a good time. Thank y'all for sharing this. And so y'all know we always have a good time. All right. So let me really quickly, before we bring our men on, and I want to say really thank you to the men, because, they're taking their time out with us, and we always have a good time. So I want to say thank you already to my co-hosts that are going to be coming on. But I want to hear from you all. I'm going to be bringing ladies, I'm going to be bringing y'all into the conversation as well. Brandy said, I'm definitely interested in hearing their point of view. Yes, yes, yes. Exactly. All right. So look, I'm trying, my questions got out of order here. So I'm trying to do that. All right. So let me see if my guest is ready and situated. Hey, April. April is in the building. Thank y'all for sharing. As y'all come in, let me know where y'all are tuning in from. And go ahead and share this. Invite, and share. For those of y'all, if this is your first time, put that in the chat. Put number 1 in if this is your first time. If you've been with us before, put that in the chat. Put number 2 to let me know. So Edwina said the men folks point might be I. Okay, I'll behave. We're gonna have a good time. All right, let me know in the chat. So I'm gonna start off. Hey, April. Hey, everyone. The video was shared. Thank you, y'all, for sharing the videos. I appreciate it. Share. Okay. So when it comes to having this type of conversation, I just want to start off by saying, like, it's really important, right? To number 1, have it, right? To be able to share with your partner, like, I really enjoy that, or it's important to do that, right? But it's also important to be mindful about how you're going about this conversation, right? We want to be sensitive. So I want to bring in our guests. I'm going to have them to introduce themselves, and then we will go from there. Okay. All right. Status Plus is in the building. Are you ready, Status Plus? You need a few more seconds?
You hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. Happy Friday. I'm in the building.
Yes, you are. And we are so happy to have you. So listen. So we got April joining us from Cleveland. We got Brandy joining us from, hey, Chevette. Chevette, where you joining us from? Edwina joining us. So listen, the lady's been acting up. I'm going to just put it out there. We've been acting up. We've been talking a whole bunch of trash, right? But I want us to kind of have you in. We wanted to bring the men in, right? Because it's important for us to bring the men in and to really get you your conversation and your viewpoints. So before we get started and jump in, go ahead and introduce yourself. Who are you? And tell us a little bit about yourself, and then we're gonna get right into the questions.
Awesome. Who's going first? Me?
Yep, you.
My apologies. My name is Mr. Status Plus. I'm the owner and designer of Status Plus Fashions. I make clothing for men and women. More street casual fashion. You can find me on Instagram and Facebook at Status Plus Fashions. Website statusplusfashions.com. Originally from New York, now residing in the beautiful sunny side, Miami, Florida.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us. So what is it feeling like out there in Miami?
Oh, it's feeling great right now. Actually, my backdrop is my backyard. I'm sitting right there on my patio set in my backyard right now talking to y'all.
I'm jealous. And don't rub that in, okay? Don't rub it
in. Yeah. I'm in my backyard right now.
That is nice. So listen, Status Plus, Mr. Status Plus, thank you for joining us. So look, let me bring you up to speed with what we've been talking about, right? And so we started out talking about self-care, self-love, like what that is, how we engage, right? And then we got into the conversation about intimacy. So I want to start there, if you don't mind, right? So people have been, kind of given their definition of what intimacy is, what it looks like. And we've had that kind of ongoing conversation. And if you don't mind, I want you to start there just by, throwing it out there from the male's perspective. When y'all are thinking about intimacy, like what even is that, right? From the male's perspective, what is intimacy? What do you consider that? And like what does that look like? What's intimacy?
Intimacy with me is being with a person of the opposite sex.
Okay.
And enjoying them, understanding them in the bedroom, making them feel good, making myself feel good, and just having a mutual agreement through vibes.
Okay. And I think a lot of people kind of would agree with you on that. What I'm hearing you say is that, with intimacy, there's this connection. It's mutually agreed upon and it's delicious. Like it's pleasurable for both parties. Did I hear that right?
Yes, you did. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. One of the other things that I want to kind of bring into the conversation is the other parts of intimacy. So outside of sex, right, there was this piece of being connected on an emotional level with your partner, right? And we were kind of saying that, especially for women, it's a lot harder for us to connect sexually in an intimate way if there isn't that emotional and that mental intimacy first. Like, do I feel safe with him? Does he get me? Does he understand me? And can I trust him? Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah, completely.
Mm-hmm. So we've kind of had that conversation about that as well. And then, ladies were like, hey, once I'm there, and I feel that level of intimacy first, then it's a lot easier to have that delicious sexual connection. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk, right? We get to the place where we're having sex. It's delicious. Or let me back up. we're having sex. We've gotten to that point where we feel comfortable. We've connected. Now, some people don't engage in sex, and that's fine because we have singles. That was the other thing that people were saying that, hey, listen, I'm single, I'm celibate, and I'm not just giving myself to anybody, right? But for those that are deciding, if they're married or they're deciding to kind of have sex, it's important to be able to talk about, have that conversation about what you like and don't like. On a scale of 1 to 10, Maurice, I'm going to have you generalize. Now, when it comes to men, how hard, easy is it for them to give their partner feedback? Like, that wasn't
to me, I've noticed it's a lot of men can't give feedback to their partner like that because of their pride or from their past sexual experiences. Because sometimes they may think they're doing a good job, but the females, they may not be saying nothing just to satisfy the man. And for a man, some men can't express their emotions. And I'm just starting to get into my emotions, so I understand I can express my emotions now, and I can tell you what I want, what I don't like, how I like it, how I want you to do it. I can tell you that now, but before it was just like a pride thing. It was just like, I'm not gonna say nothing because I'm thinking, I'm King Kong in the bedroom, or this might just be her, the way she does things. But I noticed that if you don't give direction, then you don't know the path to follow for intercourse, or closed mouths don't get fed.
That part. Let me stop you there because you're saying a lot of good stuff, and I want to kind of pick apart some of what you said. So one of the first thing that I heard you say was sometimes pride plays a role, and it's not as easy for the man to connect with his emotions or be able to communicate about what it is that he likes, don't likes, needs, doesn't need. The other part of what I'm hearing you say too, though, is that y'all are open to direction. Like, don't let me be thinking I'm doing and putting down when I'm not. Am I hearing that part right? Tell me a little bit more.
Most men are like that. They think they're putting down the hammer, but they really not.
Gotcha. So I'm going to kind of go out there, and ladies, I want to hear from y'all. I'm going to bring our other male guests in too. So I kind of blame women, right? And we talked about this before, because it is not fair to not communicate to the man. I think you hit it right on the head, Maurice. Y'all, if you don't give feedback or get the feedback, you think you put the hammer down, and that's the onus of that is kind of on the ladies. Ladies, now
let me say something. I'm sorry to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
Sometimes men and women don't say anything because of the consequences, or the arguments, or the resentment, or the feelings getting hurt. And who wants to go through that? And it might either break up the relationship, cause a fight, somebody to burn somebody's house down, something, Now
listen, what you're saying makes sense, right? Because when we are talking about sexual performance, ego can be in there, and feelings, right? Because don't hurt my feelings, right? And if it's the lady giving the man feedback, pride is there, ego is there. And I teach my clients, especially the couples, like, there is a way that you can go about having these conversations. Like, don't let him think he's doing good, or vice versa. Don't let her think that you are being satisfied if you're not. So being honest and open is important. But I think that's a really good point that you're bringing up, that sometimes people are not honest and open because the partner, they're afraid of the consequences. I'm going to bring
the confrontation. It's a lot of headbutting like Rams,
I'm going to bring our other guest on. So stay right there. And I'm going to bring Van into the conversation. And hey, Van, how are you?
Hey, good evening, everybody. How you doing? Sorry about my tardiness.
No. You were good. Nobody knew you were tardy till you just said it. Now they know. Okay. So listen, we are talking. So, okay. We've been talking about this Relationship Friday. Y'all know what we do. Relationship Friday, we talk all things relationship. And tonight we are talking about communicating in your relationship your sexual needs. Status Plus. Brandy said, not burn the house down.
Hey, yo, listen, you tell a man or woman the wrong thing about something sexually, boy, you might catch a case.
So, Ben, I want to hear from you. I want to just kind of bring you up to speed. So, the last couple of sessions, we've been talking about relationships. We talked about intimacy. There was a couple of different ways that people looked at intimacy. And what is your definition of intimacy? How do you define it? How do you describe it? You know, what would you say about intimacy? Like what the heck even is intimacy?
It's a feeling. Definitely, I think it's different for everybody. I mean, I know you probably covered the love languages and everything. I would say for me, it would be just treating me treating me fairly. Okay, just treating me fairly. That helps a lot with everything.
Mutually, Status Plus said mutually beneficial.
Yes. Yeah, treat me fair.
Gotcha. Okay. We kind of merged from there to, okay, we're having sex and one or more of the partners is not satisfied. We talked about the importance of having those conversations. Like, don't just hold it in. And Stats was saying that a lot of times people do hold it in. Men may hold it in and not say, ma'am, this is not working, or this is not delicious, or, I don't like when you got teeth in the process, right? So what do you think stops men? And I want to hear from the men's perspective, then I'm going to get it from the females. But what do you think stops men from either giving or makes it hard for them to receive feedback? Or is it an issue for men? Can men, they don't have any problems?
It's hard for me to speak for all men, but I very rarely, and I'll Status Plus, I hate to, I don't know how far you went with this, but most dudes are not going to complain to the woman. We might sit around and say that was some trash or whatever, but we're not going to complain to the woman, because if you're getting it, it ain't that bad. However, I did hear from you. I think that women are more kind to men in that area. And men, we don't, you're an outpatient therapist. The one way you can know if you're doing well with the client is you ask, is this working? And most therapists or many therapists may not ask that because they really don't want to know. So if a dude wants to really know, did this work? And you can be open-ended about it. And, do you really want to know that? That would be the question of the woman. Do you really want to know? I really want to know, but don't hurt my feelings. Let's be constructive about it. Okay. Let me know what worked. And I think, I don't know if I'm the oldest out here, but I'll put my 5-0 out there as far as age. I know I wasn't as good high school, college, younger than I would be now because I wasn't in tune. It didn't matter. I was selfish. I didn't think about anybody, was I thinking about the woman and the orgasm that they may have and all that? Well, maybe. But it was more for my selfish gain than my last, 20, 30 years or so. So, it's about evolving. For all the men, I would say, please get Men's Health magazine. It is a great magazine. It gives you all types of tips, not only on, physical health, but on sexual health and being in tune and listening to a woman's body.
Let me stop you there.
Go ahead.
You've said some really good things. And April is saying, yes, the ability to accept feedback is important. So I want to talk a little bit about some of what you're saying. One is for more mature men, they care. Like, okay, let me see, is it good for her? Does she enjoy it? And whereas other maybe not so mature, they don't want to know, or they're not going to ask because it's like, I got mine, she giving, why should I even have, why would I tell her it's not delicious? I don't want to mess that up. Status, do you agree, disagree? Kind of where are you with that?
Man, let me say first thing, Van, right?
Uh-huh.
Hey, in high school, man, listen, I was serving an animal up in high school, man. Listen, I get it. I was pleasing and teasing, I try to make sure majority of the time they got theirs. So I agree to certain degrees. And we just got to understand each other. We got to talk, and like you said, we got to be mature about it. Yeah. And a lot of people are not mature. Like, you got to know yourself to really understand what you want. And a lot of people don't know themselves. And as easy as that phrase may sound, it's hard to know yourself if you're not really in tune and spend time with yourself.
Mm-hmm. That's a good point. Let me bring from there this question. If you want honest feedback, right, and you make that clear to your partner, how would you want to receive it? Like, what would be best way for you to receive it? Like, give it to me this way. And I'll start by saying this. So I always let my clients know, you need to be sensitive. When it comes to having this kind of conversation, do not do it in the bedroom, right? Focus on what is delicious. Like, I would like more of this, right? And I think, Status, you talked about this earlier. Like, you can give me feedback in the moment. Like, slow down, go slower, go faster. That feels really good. Mm-hmm. Like, you can give feedback you should give feedback in the moment. So let me hear from y'all on that question of how do you want to receive the feedback? Like, what's going to be good for you? So I want y'all to think about that, answer that. I'm going to bring the some comments in, and then I want y'all to answer that question. How do you want to receive the feedback? I'm going to put it in there for y'all ladies too. How do y'all want to receive feedback? So Edwina says, no, sir, I know selfish. Oh, so Edwina said, listen, just because you're older does not mean that you are not selfish. She said, I can't say that age makes all the difference. What are y'all thoughts? Concur. Okay.
You know what, Rachel? Here's how I look at it. Here's an analogy. When your back itches and you got a partner, and you feel like, oh no, lower, to the left, to the right, oh right there, oh yeah, a little down. Like, that's how you can approach it a little bit,
Okay. So that's how you like to get your feedback?
I mean, like you need your back scratched.
Okay. So you would want very specific, very direct, like, don't let me have to try to guess. Let me know specifically in the moment what you like and don't like. Is that what you're saying? Am I getting that correct?
Not 100%, but okay. You can kind of feel it out with the body language, the body motion, and the words that's coming out of her mouth. If you're doing a good job, or if something's not right. You could kind of feel it out too, the energy levels and the aura of the intercourse.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So kind of being in tune with your partner to know based on what she's giving off whether or not what you're doing is pleasing her or not.
That is another way of understanding the language too, the love language.
Now, if and you kind of mentioned this earlier, and there's research that backs it up. And Van, I want to hear from you in a second. There's research that backs up that large majority of women do not have orgasms as during intercourse. And we talked last time about some of the reasons why that is. But there's also a large majority of women who are dissatisfied. And like one of y'all said, don't necessarily bring it to the forefront, right? Meaning they can be in the middle of having sex and it's ooh and ah, but some of that is a put on. And I work with females, women that are sensitive about how their partner might feel. And so in the moment, some of that is a put on. So I always tell the men, yes, being in tune with how your partner is responding, but also like Van said, asking, how am I doing? Like afterwards, right? Hey, what do you like? What don't you like? So being very direct about that as well. So Van, how would you want to receive feedback about whether or not your partner was satisfied? And if they were not satisfied specifically, how do you want to receive constructive feedback as a man?
Right. So it's you got, I'll use like a sports analogy. So you make in-game adjustments, and you could have a in-game adjustments could be, I'm trying to think of a coach that everybody would know, but it could be, well, I'll use a politician and not going into politics, but you could have a Trumpian way of expressing it, which may come across as crass, rude, and which would probably make a person kind of standoffish. Or you could have a Barack way of being a little more mindful about it. And so there's a nudge, like a gentle nudge, like a hit. You can move a head slightly a certain way. You can move a hip a certain way. So the person, okay, you that's when you're in tune with the other person's body. But then you're talking about it being able. You're playing tennis, but you're also actively listening, and you're actively listening for things you can hear, but also, as Status said, body language. Okay, I'm not getting anything from this. I'm not getting any movement from this. I may want to go somewhere else. You know what I mean? Facts. Yeah, I probably want to explore some other areas because clearly this isn't working. But if you're selfish, that doesn't matter. So I have another theory though. If you're I feel like a naturally caring person, the person that brings in muffins and cakes to the job for no reason, I'm just going to go out there. They're more so pleasing in the bedroom as well because they're naturally That's just my theory. Because they're naturally caring. They didn't do that for kudos. They did that because that's just what I do.
That's what I do.
So that's in game. And then you're talking about after the game, let's process it. And processing is what I say about let's play tennis. Give me some feedback. Let's talk about it. Don't just tell me everything bad. I made all A's and I got one E. Don't harp on the E or the F, right? I'm old, Don't harp on the E. Tell me, yeah, that was good. All these things, sandwich approach. Yeah. But then you can kind of, in the middle, give me a little critique and then sandwich it again. And so, so that works for me. But that works for me across the board as far as feedback.
Gotcha. Okay. So that's good. So this is what I'm hearing you say. So this is what I heard both of y'all say, that in the moment, real-time feedback is good. And some of the audience is saying that as well. Like in the moment, give me some feedback in the moment. April said real-time feedback is good. So like both of y'all were saying, kind of paying attention to what your partner's body is doing, how they're responding to your methods, your techniques, paying attention to that. And then April agreed with you, Van, on the Trumpian way. And then the other part of what I'm hearing y'all say, or you, Van, is that In the moment is good. And then after, have the conversation. But when you talk to me about it, the part that you don't like, put that in between with what was delicious. Like, start off with what you do like. And then
I'll be a little more open. And don't, it's one of those, it's a Dave Chappelle joke. When a woman says we need to talk, it's always about something that I need to do. I thought we needed to talk. That's a plural. We need to talk turned into you trash. And no, I don't want to do that. No, hold on. I'm out of here. That's not cool.
Yes. Okay, status. Brandy said, if it's negative feedback, I prefer it being given after we're done with the sex act. Van, I see you agreeing. Status, where are you? What are your thoughts about that?
No, that's fine. It all depends on your partner or who you're dealing with, because everybody is different. Everybody receives criticism differently.
Yeah.
Some people can't take it. Some people can. When you're in the middle or mix of intercourse or having sex, I know sometimes you just like, shut up. I'm just trying to get to, like, don't talk to me right now. You're messing the mood up.
But Sam, that's a good point, because that could be one person's way, but the other person wants you to talk. So you got to learn, especially if you're single and you're, with multiple people, not at one time. But if that's your thing, I'm just saying. But everybody and every body is different.
Yeah.
And that's a whole thing. And we all evolve. Who we were, 10 years from now, 5 years from now, that don't work no more. Well, when were you gonna tell me? Well, I'm telling you now. That doesn't work anymore for me. Really? That was my go-to.
That was my number one.
Yeah.
The whole time. She like, bruh, we there again?
Yeah.
So Brandy said, at that point when you say, how was it for you? So at the end of the whole situation, when it's over and the person has to say, how was it for you? How do y'all take that?
I mean, I take it as, okay, I need to know if I was doing a good job, if I was busting it up. I need to know. So if not, I need to, work on my strengths and weaknesses,
Now, in those moments, though, because most often it's the men that are asking that question.
Yeah, you're right about that. The men do ask that question because they know that they didn't put it down. So I mean, if you put it down, you ain't gotta ask nothing.
So is that an indicator that the guys already know based on the woman's response or reaction that it wasn't that? Is that so? Two things. One, is that why that's asked? And two, do y'all really want the feedback in that moment?
I mean, so it goes on a couple factors.
Okay.
Is it a girl that you really like? You're getting to you want to get to really know, and you want to spend more time with her, or there's another character who's like, whatever, I'm out. I just wanted to taste it. That's it.
Yeah, and listen, I think that's a good point that you're bringing up, because based on those situations, it's going to be a lot different, right? But let's be a lot different. That this is somebody that you are connected with on an emotional level, that you love, you care about, and you ask this question, right? Do you really want the feedback? And is the reason the question is asked because you know it wasn't good? So Van, I'll throw it to you, and then I want to hear from the ladies in the chat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, from having so many female friends, what I will hear is they did not, that the love or the emotions trumped the performance.
Okay.
Like, after we got out of the relationship or the relationship got bad, I recognized it really wasn't that good, but because I was emotionally tied. I
Yeah.
loved the person so much that trumped that, that was an override. It was like, oh, nah, we were good. But then you start looking at other things. You're like, nah, that was horrible.
Horrible.
Yeah.
We were talking about that. I think it was the last live or the live before. And we were saying, a lot of the women were saying that it really is in the man's best interest to connect with her emotionally, like be emotionally connected with her, right? Have that form of intimacy before going into the sexual part, especially for the ego part, because if it's trash, like y'all are saying, your feelings may per se be spared, or she's more likely to kind of stay in there. Brandy is weak. Brandy is weak about that. Ladies, when a man is asking you, how was it for you? Are we honest if it wasn't good, or are we not? Let me reset the room. Thank y'all for being here. Let us know where you're tuning in from. Listen, we're having some delicious conversation about how you tell your partner, how you communicate whether or not you are pleased sexually. So when you come in, let us know where you are tuning in from. Share this, invite your friends to jump on, share this. Make sure that y'all are following and liking the page. Cynthia said, hey, Cynthia, thank you for joining us. Cynthia said, yes, because we let a lot slide when we are attacked. So Cynthia said, listen, we are paying attention to your egos, to your emotion. We're not going to bust your balls. And we are going to have a lot more grace for areas that you may be slacking in if we are connected. Does that make sense to y'all? Fellas, what are your thoughts about what Cynthia is saying?
What was her comment again?
Look, so before we get into Edwina's comment.
Yeah, I got a comment on that.
Okay, yes. Okay, so I'll read it. Okay, so Cynthia said, she said, we let a lot more slide. Like if we are connected to y'all, we really care about you. We have that emotional connection. We're intimate with you all in that way first, then a lot of the shortcomings. So last week, we talked about the size of a man's penis, and some of the ladies said that can be a challenge for them, right? And so, when Cynthia is saying that, listen, we'll try to work with you on a lot if we care about you, if we love you. What are y'all thoughts, comments, feelings about that?
It all depends how much you really want to be with that person, how much you care about that person. Mm-hmm. And if it's, because I know if I'm not satisfying you, you're always going to have that thought in the back of your mind that you want to be satisfied. Mm-hmm. Regardless of whatever extra stuff the guy does. And you might be tempted to go out and get satisfied. Mm-hmm. I mean, it goes a lot of ways. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. I got you. I want to go back to a comment that Edwina made. And I want us to talk about that a little bit before we go into some of the other comments and questions. And these are good comments. Thank y'all for sharing the live. Thank y'all for inviting people in, and thank y'all for participating. So listen, let's go back. Edwina said, is there ever really bad vajayjay, right? Like, I guess the connection is the most important aspect, but is there ever really bad sex in regards to women? Is that like, okay.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Let's talk. How can ladies' sex not be delicious?
This bad vajayjay.
Give me an example of what would make sex with a woman not desirable, not delicious, bad.
I mean, when the cake ain't fully baked.
What does that mean?
The cake ain't fully baked. I mean, it's sometimes it don't feel good.
Okay. So now let me ask you this. When we're saying, and we're adults. So when we're saying that it does not feel good, are we talking about the walls aren't tight? It's
Yes,
not
that's
lubricated.
correct.
I mean, what do
That
we,
was
you know,
the first one. The first walls ain't tight. It feels
okay.
like you're walking in a hallway.
And that, so this is important for us to have these conversations, because I think a lot of times we, as Abigail said, loose lips sink ships. I am too through. But a lot of times I think we as women, we have this thought in our mind that there could really be no bad sex because you get in the vagina like what, right? And there is less men who do not have an orgasm and ejaculate during a sexual encounter than there are women. So it's like there can be that false perception that there is, women you can't not have an enjoyable time with a woman. So I think that's a really good point that you're bringing up. Van, what are your thoughts? What makes sex bad, right? Like, what is there such a thing as bad for JJ? What makes sex bad?
Oh, absolutely. Effort.
Okay, let's talk. What do you
Effort.
mean when you say effort?
Don't just lay down.
Don't lay down.
Yeah, don't. Come on.
And let you do your business on me.
Yeah, this is not The Color Purple. I'm not Mr. This is interactive.
This is it. Now,
Yeah, we're in this together.
Now, this leads me to another question. And a lot of the men that I coach, or the relationship coaching that I do, men say, and sometimes women don't pick up on this, they want to feel desired too. They want the women to take the lead, to initiate. Like, Status, start us out there. Is that true? Looks like he might be frozen. So Van, if he's frozen after I finish the question, you answer it. If it's true, then tell us more. Like, what do y'all want to see from women when it comes to y'all initiating, and us, rather not y'all, but us initiating? What does that look like? Is it true? Do men prefer that? Do they like that? Is that a thing? And they want you to go deeper, Van. They want you to.
So I'll yield the floor in a second, Status. So, okay, so women will say, yeah, foreplay may be you wash the clothes, you folded the clothes, you put the kids to sleep, you wash the dishes. Okay, got it. All right.
Oh.
Foreplay for us may be, all right, we got a nice steak, a baked potato. Okay. Hey, I put something on the light bill.
Gotcha.
Okay. You ain't got to pay the whole thing. You know what? I so appreciate that. Okay. And then that'll make the bedroom a little more exciting or whatever. But some guys want some, lingerie, heels on, an apron, a good meal, a Zane book or whatever. It will definitely vary. But yeah, there is a such thing that it is not a myth. It is not a myth. As my wife look at me, it's not a myth that yeah, it is Rachel. This is Rachel. It is not a myth that there is bad for JJ. That is not a myth. That is so true. Very true. Yeah.
So
dryness, yes, dryness is a problem. But they created something for that.
Yes.
It's all type of stuff. You can have something. Come on, can you? That's why I say my umbrella is effort, motivation.
Okay. So this is what I'm hearing, that the reality is, and women need to know that there is such a thing as bad sex for a man, whether it's the halls are loose, it's dry, it's dry, and there's no effort. You're not putting forth any effort. You're just laying there and, you're doing all the work. Anything else that makes for bad sex?
Don't make it a chore.
Tell us more.
Look, you better come on, get this before I go to sleep. Don't nobody want to hear that. I don't want it now. I don't want it. Never mind. You know what I mean? It's like saying dinner going to be ready in 5 minutes. What are you going to cook that is going to be ready in 5 minutes? That we're going to have 3 courses. I don't want it. I don't want a 3-course meal done in 5 minutes. It's not going to be good.
It's not going to be good. Van, they're asking with the Zane.
Damn right. Yeah.
You want her to read the book to you, perform things out of the Zane book. What? Tell us more. They're asking about that.
Just read an excerpt, a paragraph.
Listen, I think you are bringing up some good stuff, right? And this is what we talk about with our clients: how to enhance your sex life, right? How to make it interesting, how to make it exciting. And so those things, I love what you're saying. So listen, I'm gonna bring in a few comments from the audience. They are So if you're just tuning in, we're talking adult stuff. Share this, invite your friends, like the page, subscribe. Okay. Edwina is laughing her butt off. I think the other thing, we kind of answered this question: what makes it not feel good? And so you said the dryness. Is there anything else that makes it not feel good for a man?
I said mine is motivation. And I mean, feel good can be physically.
So penis in the vagina or vagina in the mouth. That other things that make it not physically feel good.
Yeah, both of those are dryness.
Okay.
Yeah. Get some water.
Get you some, hydrate.
Hydrate before. It's like we about to play a game.
We're about to play.
Yeah, we about to play a game. You gotta hydrate before the game.
You have to hydrate.
Well, we're being honest. If the man is performing, you don't, and they got dry lips, they chapped. Come on, bro. You chapping me. What are you doing there?
Brother. But in those moments, now this is where I'm going to bring back accountability. In those moments, it is important to have that conversation. And it may not be verbal conversation, right? But maybe kind of, hey, moving or, changing up how you're responding. Because that is important. Abigail said, honestly, if I don't care about them, then when he asks, I'm going to say, nah, bro. She said, I'm going to hurt his feelings. I'm just going to be blatantly, brutally honest. And then I'm going to laugh like I was just playing.
But that's help. Thank you. That's helping him.
Yeah.
And y'all, if y'all going to hook up again or for the next person, you're training.
Yeah. That part is really important. Really important. Let me bring some of the other. Oh my gosh. So Brandy said, thank you for sharing these insights. Listen, this is why we need to have men, right? This is why we have these conversations, because sometimes women have one perception. And so you need to get another perception. Ladies, in the comments, I want to hear from you. What makes an experience bad? What makes it not feel good for you? And so I want to hear from y'all about that. Edwina said, yes, for sure. Dryness is an issue. That means that the partner is not really ready. And I agree that a lazy partner is horrible too. Thoughts about that?
Oh, concur. And I don't know, was it Edwina that said a dude that is talking about how good they are, their prowess, but then they whack. It's again, I'm gonna use sports. Most dudes that are good in sports don't talk about it. They show up on the court.
Yeah. Let me see what you're working with.
Yeah. They don't talk the game because you can't,
April said, are you finished or are you done? Status, they are asking, where are you and what are you doing?
Pardon me. I had somebody come to the house to pick up something real quick, so I apologize.
Not a problem. Listen, you grown, they nosy. Abigail said teeth. Okay, so the question for the ladies is, what makes a sexual encounter not good? Abigail said teeth, too much hair, and lack of stamina. Van, is this things that men know? Because we want to make sure y'all know what women are looking for, what's important to us. And so can you keep your teeth where it needs to be? Back it up.
Are we talking about for the man or for the woman? What are we doing?
Or both? So it may go for both, right? So I asked the ladies to share from their perspective what makes a bad experience. And I'm assuming that Abigail is responding to that question. Teeth, too much hair, and lack of stamina. Abigail, just to clarify, and she said both. Okay. So, Okay. So
Right.
she clarified that, and that's important, right? But I'm gonna switch it around. If a man is receiving oral pleasuring, is there such a thing for a man of is there ever a time? Let me mute him because he's over there, Bob the Builder. It. Is there ever a time? Is there ever bad oral sex? Is there ever bad
Sure, she hit it.
fellatio?
Teeth, effort. I'm going by the effort. Like, nah, what is that? Never mind. Just forget it. Just forget it. You're not into it. I want you. Marvin Gaye. It's a song. I want you to want me too.
I want you to want me too.
Yeah, at least put on the show. Act like it. You want to. Don't make it a chore. Don't make it like you're folding clothes. Lack of stamina. Absolutely.
And that's important, right? Being invested in this opportunity to share and to connect in a sexual way. Now, what are and I'm just going, I'm just pulling in some more of the comments. Yes, April, I had to take him from the thing. You need to go on mute, brother. They are so funny. Hey, G. So as y'all come in, let us know where. Let us know where you're tuning in from. I know we got Bob the Builder in the background. G said, "Listen, the Lord loves a cheerful giver, and so do I. God damn it!"
Yeah.
So put some energy and effort
Yeah.
into this.
Yeah.
That is excellent. April said some men are extremely lazy in the bedroom. Let's talk about that. Why are the men lazy in the bedroom? What is motivate? What makes a man not put forth effort in the bedroom? Ben, what would be other than? And I'll just kind of put it out there. There are some men that have health conditions, right, and are not able to go full force. There are men with heart conditions, and they got to go slow, honey. They cannot. So listen. I need to see the doctor's report. But what would be a reason why a man would be lackluster in his performance and be lazy in the bedroom?
Yeah, again, taking away the health piece. All right. When we're talking about physical, there are certain things that you can do as a man to remain physically active and physically healthy, rather.
Yeah.
Right. Because physical health impacts mental health, impacts almost everything. And we're talking about the bedroom. It does impact the bedroom. If you have a gut, I'm just going out here. If you have a gut, it does decrease. I'm talking about science. It does decrease your length.
Yep.
Okay. If you decrease your gut, it increases your length, and it's more about girth than it is about length. I don't know if y'all went through that already, but
yes, we did.
Yeah. Come on.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I think the other thing too is, and Abigail brings up a good point, that possibly he thinks he's putting it down, and no one has ever been honest with him enough to say, bruh, this is not working. Like, I need a little bit more energy. Brandy, you're absolutely right. Stress can affect a man's sexuality, can affect him sexually, his ability to perform or to be engaged or to even have the desire to want to have sex. Let me ask you this question. What is it that turns, what do you think it is that women aren't aware of? Now, every man is different, but what are some things that women can do that would really turn a man on that they may not even be aware of? Like, I like when she does this.
And again, like you said, everybody's different. Just being kind. But that's it's a whole lot under the umbrella of being kind.
Yeah, what you mean?
Don't be condescending. Don't talk to me any kind of way.
We're gonna talk about that, not tonight, but that part of communication.
If you just talk to me any kind of way, earlier this morning, and now it's over for you. Yeah, it's always over for the person that did something. And now we supposed to, most guys can compartmentalize that and go ahead, but that's not cool, you know. So that outside of cooking for you, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just being, like I said, being nice, you know, being creative, you know. So it's too many things. There's so many things you can do.
Yeah. Ladies, I want to hear from y'all. What is it that you wish men knew to do for you? Like, what would be a turn on for you to have men do this? Like, if he did that, man, that would get me ready a lot sooner, or make it easier for that. I would be turned on. If he did this, if he did more of this, this would hit the spot. This would get me right. This would turn me on. Edwina said, the gut decreases length. Never thought about it like that. Yes, because that belly pokes out. And so then the belly is what you are meeting up with first. And so, you know, the rest of the little piece that's left. So you have to definitely be creative in your positioning when the man has a belly. But men lose the belly. You have a lot more flexibility. You can last longer. Your stamina is there. You're not sweating all over the place. Some people, you know, some of the ladies I coach, they do not like, don't sweat on me, kid. Let me ask, we'll take one more question. Ladies, I want y'all to answer the questions. What is it that you would like more of from your partner? Like that, man, if he did this, this would be delicious. The little piece that's left. Oh, I know. I said that. G said, just sit that. Sit the belly on the back. You ain't got to worry about it. But then the back sweat gonna be on her. So, Van, how important is it? And again, every man is different. But how important is it for men to orgasm, to have an orgasm during sex? How, like, scale of 1 to 10. 10 is like, yes, I ain't trying to have sex if I'm not. Like, I'm going to be really displeased if I don't. And 1 is like, you know, whatever.
For most men, I would say a 9. But I would say for myself, it's about an 8.
Okay.
Yeah. Why
is that so important? Whereas for women, it's like, I'm here with him. We're connected.
Is that true? That's what happened. That's what the last thing was about. It doesn't have to happen. Or what was the number with the women?
Ladies, that's a good question. I'll throw that to the ladies. So a scale of 1 to 10. 10 is I have to have an orgasm. Like, it is that important. That's a 10. And then for the 1, no, not so much. So throw that in there. It'll be interesting to see what these women say. We didn't talk about how important it is at our last conversation. Brandy said, nah, boy, you're not going to have me on my knees the whole night because you got to pee. She said, it's not fair. That is not fair. Be considerate. You heard what Van said. Be considerate.
Yeah.
She said, if I got to sit her, it's only hair. Oh my gosh. Okay, so how important, ladies? 1 to 10. How important is it for an orgasm? Van is saying, listen, for me, for a lot of men, about an 8. You know, it's high up there on the list. Is blue balls
not a myth? No.
Let's talk about it, Van.
It's not. It is. I don't know if a woman could. Okay, it is like having your breast caressed to the point that they're hard, but they stay right there, and it's no comfort or nothing that happens thereafter. It just stays there. So blue balls is that you're not able to get relief. Okay. After doing something that may be pleasing, but you're not able to get released. That is not a myth at all.
bringing in some of the comments. Abigail said a 9, like one way or the other. Listen, we either gonna do it, at some point or the other. I need to have an orgasm. Brandy said orgasms are important, but I think that comes once you and your partner get into sync with each other. Now that's important. That is really important. And this is where intimacy, true intimacy, comes into play, right? Because if I am considering what you have going on and I'm mindful of your experience,
right,
and each person is more concerned about pleasing the other, then you can be in sync with the other person. There's not that selfishness, and you get to know that person, and you are able to more easily connect with them sexually. And so I think that's a really good point. What are your thoughts on that, Ben? You agree, disagree?
Oh, absolutely. But when you go soft, is the blue ball still blue? They're not. I mean, we too dark for them to turn blue, but it's just put it as discomfort.
Yeah.
It is frustrating. Absolutely.
I love that. That was a great question, Edwina. G said it's like a woman hearing about 80% off sale at Coach, then getting to the store and finding out it was get to the store and finding out. Yeah. This is good. Question. So we have a male. Van, questions that you want to ask the audience, the women, and then audience questions that y'all want to ask Van, or comments before we wrap it up. What questions might you want to know about women? Specifically, like, why y'all do this, or is this true, right? Or are there things, like, even for example, one of the questions that I get, that I process and help women and their partners deal with, is things, there are times and areas of discomfort during sex that I don't think men are aware of for women, right? And so things like that. So are there questions or things that you from the male perspective, that you think women don't know of? And this is for the other men in the audience as well, putting that out there. So are there things that you like, I wish ladies knew this or did this?
Here's my question. Is it true that a woman knows that the man, that they rather would like to, or it is in the realm of possibility of them having intercourse within within a very short period of time, and then we mess it up by saying something or doing something?
That is a great question. I'll start off, and ladies, y'all chime in. Ladies, if y'all want to come on, y'all know y'all can. The link is in there. You can come on as to give your comments and things live in these last few minutes. So that's a really good question, Van. And so I'll start off by saying this, and then ladies, y'all chime in as well. So we'll bring G's question up as well. And G, if you want to come up, feel free to do so. Okay. I think women are very, very intuitive. And so Brandy said, what was the question? So the question was, and y'all help her out, ladies. Where were y'all at that y'all didn't hear the question? So the question is, are there things that y'all wish that Van, so from the male's perspective, are there questions that they want to know about the women, like about women, like, is this true? Or I wish y'all knew this or would do this, or the other thing. Now, Abigail is saying, show do. Listen, when we're talking, if I see you and I'm talking, and there are things, so all women are different, right? So for me, smells is my thing, right? So if you smell good, and smells, right? So research shows smells, pheromones, it really does connect, and there's a hormonal reaction. So a woman can definitely have in her mind when she's talking and meeting, like, yes, he. When I was in college, the term was he could get it. he could get it, right? So I think women do have an idea of, yeah, he could get it.
So
And
that
then,
is true.
yeah, it is. I would say it's true. Abigail is saying it's true. What do the other ladies think? But yeah, I think a lady, when we're assessing, yeah, this is somebody, or they may be saying to themselves, I wonder what it would be like.
Because men, not all, some feel like they have done something special to get the woman, when it's really kind of the other, from having those conversations with women. You ain't do nothing special. I knew you did. Yeah, I knew you did. It was a certain walk, was a certain look. I saw your package, or I could see it through the pants, or it was your sense of humor, whatever. It was assessing. Yeah, I was assessing while you was assessing.
While you was assessing. Now let me clarify, and ladies, I want to hear from you. Having a thought in the mind that this is somebody that has a possibility that I would be interested in having sex is different than I'm going to have sex. And for most women, and women, y'all kind of chime in here. And for most women, especially those that are, at a healthier level, just because I think you are humpable, right, doesn't mean that I'm going to hump you. You have to meet certain criteria. I have to feel safe. I've got to trust you. And we have to get to that level. Just because you are humpable, like, yes, he got a nice body, or yes, whatever, doesn't mean that's going to happen. Right. But a person could also know, and I'm kind of bringing some of the comments as well. Nothing sexy about this guy, so, and he could work it around and work to the place where they fall for him. And then, so I don't think it's an automatic just because they have checked that one box off that is going to happen. Abigail said, I know up front if I'm sexually attracted to you, and if I want to have sex almost immediately. And then there may be something that the guy does that makes me change my mind.
Okay. So can it be the other way around? Can you not be attracted, and then later on they do something, say something, smell, whatever, that makes you say,
That's a good question. Ladies, what are y'all thinking? That's a really good question, Van. Edwina said it's true. Lance Gross can get it. I ain't lying. Now, who is Lance Gross? Now I got to look this up. Who is he? Is he unattractive or something? Like, who is Edwina? Who is that? Brandy said, oh, I got it. I like a man who is confident. He smells good and has a presence. That's attractive to me. So it doesn't even have to always be for women. It doesn't even have to be physically, right? That he looks a certain way. But if he carries himself a certain way, that plays a role as well. G Bizzle said, first off, nobody likes a quitter. Nobody likes a quitter. G had a question as well. He said, why do women like sneak and have an orgasm instead of what do you want them to do, G? Explain that. Van, Abigail is answering your question. She said yes, it can go that way as well.
Okay.
So that's a good question. That's a good question. Oh, he's fine. Okay, I'm really gonna have to look him up. If he did something though, right, Edwina, he looked good. What would be something that would take him out of the humpable category?
Good question.
And Abigail, you mentioned that him doing something like, so what does that mean, right? Like, what the heck would he have to do that would take him out of being you moving forward with having sex, or him losing his sexual attractiveness? Brandy said, now there has been some men who make my pussy jump, and that lets me know my body is attracted to him. And there have been some men who, after conversation and interaction, became attractive to me after some time. Now, that's a good point. What are your thoughts on that, Van?
Well, we would call that, okay, so we can curse up here, right? So yeah. you can I'll just say stimulate someone's brain
Mhm.
that can stimulate you in the vagina region,
Mhm.
and then it can be a physical thing as well. But if you can do both
Mhm.
for men and women,
Yeah.
oh, you got something there.
You.
Like I can have a conversation with you, and we can talk about almost anything. We're not in a box,
Mhm.
and then I'm physically attracted to you too,
Mhm.
and you pay your bills. No, I'm just kidding.
And you. That part is important.
That's damn right. It's important.
Abigail said something he says. Oh, okay. So this is going to the question, like what takes a man out of
Mhm.
that category? Something he says reveals a mindset I don't like. Something he does indicates a behavior that is unacceptable. I think that's an important part, right? Like it's important for men to know that yes, you may be fine, you may be sexy, but bruh, we are still assessing to see
Yeah.
if there are red flags.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on that? Do men do that for women as well, Van?
Yeah, I think the attraction level will decrease that devoiding, voiding them out. However, because some of us are very what's shallow with
Yeah.
that. But if we go to a restaurant and just happen since we went Dutch or whatever, but you don't, I'm observing you didn't tip, or you treated the staff, badly, you didn't speak to, you're mean.
Yeah.
You're just a mean person. Like you're attitudinal. Why would I want to be around that?
Yeah.
That shows me that's a snapshot of who you are as well.
Mhm.
Like the dinner was $40 and you mad at me because I'm gonna give the tip.
Mhm.
It's not your money, but the service was bad. But this is how this lady eats.
Yeah.
And you have berated her for no reason. She didn't make the food, things like that. My son went through that, and the young lady didn't even recognize it. So it's like stuff like that is yeah.
Okay. And G is agreeing with you. He said that men are assessing as well. They're looking at things, and you could be sexy, you could have the body, but honey, if you have your traits and your characteristics about you that are not delicious, then you disqualify. Look.
And I'm sorry. Let me say this. I'm not saying if we're going on a date that we're going Dutch. All right. My apologies. That was not what I meant. I'm saying if I were to see you, let me just say that. Let me just say. But you know what? As well, G, I'll say this: if you invite me out, I'm prepared to pay. But if you invite me out, and Rachel, we had this deal. If you invite, I feel like you should be paying.
Yes.
I don't know if that's gonna make people mad or whatever, but you invited me. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Yes. They are. So I'm laughing at the comments, but yes, I definitely agree with you.
And that's a turn on.
Yes. If you invited me out, you're paying, and I don't want to hear any complaining about what I ordered off the meal. That's off the menu.
Facts. Yeah, facts.
I took y'all. Brady said Dutch is fine. So Van, ladies, let me hear from you. Van, let me hear. A lot of times there's this conversation about should the men pay, especially like on the first date. Should the men pay? Should they not? Are they corny? Like where are y'all at? So some women are saying the Dutch is fine, especially like if this is your first date. What you know? Okay, tell me about that. Why do you think you should pay? And tell me about that.
Man, I mean, come on. So there's some chivalry involved. Still some. Some. I know it's gender equality and all that now. I get it, but come on now. Because usually the man is asking the person out for the date. So again, it goes back to that. Yeah, if I'm asking you out for the date, then yeah, I should pay for the date. I should be prepared to pay for the date. What I am saying though, talking about turn-ons, you just mentioned it. If you're saying, okay, we're gonna go out and I want to go to just Red Lobster or something, something, fair, not too expensive. And, you know what I mean? And you pay, like you force me, like, no, I have it. You pay, that's a turn on.
Okay.
That's a turn on for me.
Gotcha. Now, let me ask you this. There is this trend where in status, I want to hear your thoughts as well. There's this trend of women asking, men out, taking them on the date, like the first date or whatever, like that. Thoughts? Is that a turn off? Is that demasculating?
No.
Let's talk.
Because that is being not aggressive but assertive,
Okay.
which could transfer over to they're going to be assertive / aggressive in the bedroom. They're going to be assertive and aggressive in paying their bills
Okay.
and keeping themselves, you know what I mean, working out.
Okay.
Yeah, that shows motivation. That shows something like, oh,
Okay.
Okay, you a go-getter.
You a go-getter.
We can appreciate that.
Okay.
I don't have to do everything.
Okay. So you take that as this is an indicator that you got some qualities I like that's going to be beneficial in the future. Gotcha.
Absolutely.
Same question, status. How do you feel? You see a woman or a woman comes up to you and she is, you coming to you assertive. Hey, oh, you look good. I like to take you out sometime.
Right, where we going, boo? Where we going? Let me get dressed real quick. Pull the car out. Where we going?
So
I have no issues with that. Let's do it. I love it when a woman approaches me and say, "Hey, I got you, baby. What you want? Where you want to go? What you need?" I'm like, "Oh, I love you, baby."
Now this is the first time she comes up to you and is saying, "Hey, let me take you out." You're okay with that? That's not an issue. That's not a turn off. That's not problematic.
That's not that. Listen, that's potential.
Gotcha.
That's you handing in your resume saying, I'm trying to be part of the team.
Yeah.
Be part of the team.
Yeah. And it sticks out. That resume sticks out. That
That's
resume
right.
is on green paper as opposed to that white manila. You know what I mean? Like, ooh, I need to pull this one up front.
That's right. Let's go to the top of the pile.
That is I have to read this one. I have to.
Abigail said that, and ladies, let me hear from y'all, right? Is that something that you would do? Approach a man, take him on a date. Abigail said it's giving real mannish vibes to me. Now, y'all know how you say masculine energy. Does that give that off? And when I'm asking that question, what comes to mind is the girl Christy who proposed to her boyfriend. Do y'all know? Did y'all see that? This was a couple of years
I didn't see it, but I heard about that one. Right.
Okay. Is that the same thing? Is that mannish vibes? Is that, the masculine energy, like, sis, you doing too much? Or is that like, hey, this takes the load off of me. I see that as assertive. I don't see it as mannish. Like if a lady proposed to you.
I have no issues with it. Y'all can say what y'all want to say. Y'all can feel how y'all want to say. It's 2022. Like you got cars flying right now. So listen, say what y'all want. You get down on the knee with a ring. If I like you like that, I'm like, yo, we doing this together, baby.
What about you, man? How would that make you feel? The woman taking the lead that is typically, you see the other way around. How do you feel? What are your thoughts about that? Abigail said, yeah, and it backfired because 1,000 years later, and she's still engaged. What's your thoughts? What's your take on that, Van?
I mean, I'm with Status on that. It's we're in a different. It's twofold. We're in a different era with 2022. A lot of things have changed. However, certain things are semi-traditional. I don't. That's a tough one. I don't know how. I mean, never happened to me. So I've been married 16 years. So I wouldn't know how that would. I don't know about that one. I don't know how I would take that.
Gotcha. So some of the women, there's mixed reactions, right? Some of the women in the comments are saying, listen, I've done that before, taking a man out. And then there's others that are like, okay, maybe, but if you do too much, you're just doing too much. And I hear what both of y'all are saying, that listen, I really don't have a problem with it. It is what it is. G said that he's not a fan of proposing, but if she pays for dinner, I'm giving her head. Like, I'm just saying, like,
That's fair.
that's fair. That's the least I can do.
That's what we're saying when we do pay for dinner. Like, yo, what was that? You know, this is the side of the menu that. Come on,
so
man. What do you think
this is? Expectation that if you pay for dinner, I got to give you head. Like, what?
I mean, I'm kidding, but I'm not kidding. No, I'm kidding. But if a woman does that, yeah, it's like, yo, that, you know what? I got you. I got you.
Gotcha.
One up to appreciation.
Okay. And I think, you know what? I think there is a balance, right? There is a balance between, hey, this is a cool dude. I like him. I'm going to take him out a couple of times, right? Versus, I want him to like me, so let me do this, like being thirsty, right? And then having that balance, because I do feel like there should be a balance, right? The same way we want men to put forth effort to show us that they are interested in us, we need to show, like, yeah, I like you back, right? So not this whole foolish thing about playing hard to get and all of that. I do think a good balance is there, but I also think that as women, that there is that balance. Edwina said, the Bible says a man findeth a wife. So women not chasing, I guess she's kind of going to that. Abigail said, I'll take my man out, but I'm definitely not pursuing a man and definitely not asking him, can I take him out? Gotcha. He said, and then G clarified that he's not down for the proposing, but if she does pay, he's giving her head at dinner. Like, that part has to be, clarified. So I appreciate you clarifying that. Why not being proposed to, G-Force? Why not being proposed? Why wouldn't you want that? Edwina, G, if y'all sexing, you was doing that anyway. If this is his first time, though, meeting her and going out, you going to jail. I really appreciate y'all for being here tonight. This has been good. Any last comments or questions, either from the audience or from the from the men, from the ladies? Questions, comments, feedback?
I say, listen, just enjoy yourself. Be mature about situations. Put yourself in the other person's shoes. Understand where both of y'all are coming from. And take your flaws, take understanding, don't get too emotional and just enjoy it. Like, people get too serious about a lot of things, and that's why people start bumping heads and having arguments. It's like one person, somebody's always trying to talk, but nobody's trying to listen. That's the issue with a lot of people. And if you listen, you can understand what the other person is saying to you.
I love that. Van.
Active listening. Active listening is, that's the listening that you're catching the cues, you're reading in between the lines. Okay, not necessarily what everything that was said, but what wasn't said. The pause before you really want to say that, but you holding back. So, yeah.
I love that. When we're talking about this whole conversation where we're talking about connecting, and I love everything that y'all are saying, right? Status said that connect with your partner, like, be upfront, be honest, connect with them, be willing to listen, so that listen to understand. Van, that's an excellent point that you made about active listening, right? So all of those are really good pieces to understand, to take into consideration when we're talking about relationships, right? Relationship is not going to work if you, one, aren't connected with you, healthy, whole, you first, right? So engaging in the self-care, so that you can have the type of relationships that you want, where you can be honest and upfront, tell them what you like and don't like, and be able to do it in a way that builds and strengthens the relationship. So that self-care is going to be really important. So y'all know we have the self-care Becoming Your Own Best Friend course. The link is in the comments. You can go to the website to purchase the course. Ladies, we are going to be launching our Love Like You've Never Been Hurt Before course. You need to sign up for that. This is us teaching you how to break down those walls that you have, how to be soft, right? How to connect to your feminine energy and how to connect with your partner in a meaningful way so that you can have the type of relationship that you want. So if you're interested, go to the website. You can message us on Facebook, connect with us. We will be letting y'all know when that course is going to be launched. I want to thank y'all for coming out. So y'all know every Friday at 7 o'clock, this is where we are talking about sex, talking about relationships. One of the things that we're going to talk about next week is what advice do you wish somebody gave you regarding intimacy, regarding sex? So that's one of the things that we're going to talk about next week. Fellas, it has been a pleasure having y'all. Audience, as always, we always have good conversation. Y'all have been thebomb.com. Please make sure that you all subscribe to the YouTube channel. Y'all know we just got that channel and we're trying to get our subscribers up. So follow and hit the bell. I think that's what they say. But anyway, subscribe to YouTube and follow us on Facebook and Instagram at rdhcounselingandconsulting.com. We want to stay connected with you. It has been a pleasure. And we will see y'all next Friday at 7 p.m. Invite your friends, share this, like it, share it. And we will talk with y'all soon. They are saying awesome, great insight, great conversation. So I definitely appreciate y'all for being here. Y'all be safe and engage in self-care. Think about what you're going to do this weekend for self-care. Eat right, sleep right, have that conversation with your partner to let them know what you like them to do more of. Engage in self-care. And I'll talk with y'all later. Y'all take care.
Later. Bye, everybody.
Bye.